What if we could use deep-sea organisms to produce biofuels? But how would that work? Let's go back a step and explain. Just like humans, all organisms on Earth have to breathe to get energy. We breathe oxygen, and on land there's plenty. But there are many places on Earth where no oxygen is present, like deep-sea sediments. The little oxygen existing in the deep sea is quickly used up, and organisms have to look for alternatives to generate their energy. So let's explain how that works. Humans eat things like wheat and breathe air. We use the sugars from the wheat and the oxygen from the air. By turning it into carbon dioxide and water, we produce energy. In the deep sea, there is no oxygen and only little sugar, so organisms have found different solutions depending on the energy sources. For example, in places where natural gases like butane escape from the deep, some organisms have the ability to use the butane and along with sulfate turn it into carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide to obtain their energy. Technically, the organisms eat butane and breathe sulfate, just like we eat sugar and breathe oxygen. Butane is a molecule made up of 4 carbon and 10 hydrogen atoms. It is often used in lighters and as a fuel because it contains a lot of energy. But when humans use a lighter, they use the oxygen from the air. These organisms use the butane without oxygen because there isn't any. That's pretty amazing. It's like lighting a lighter without air. To be able to use butane without oxygen, organisms share the work. They live in a consortium just like this one. One type of organism, called archaea, in red, uses the butane to produce CO2 and transfers electrons to the other organism, a bacterium, in green. The bacterium then uses sulfate to produce hydrogen sulfide. This allows both partners to produce energy. This phenomenon was discovered at the Max Planck Institute in Bremen, Germany. Under the microscope, we can look at one of these consortiums. The samples we are looking at here are from the deep sea and have to undergo a special treatment before we can see the symbiosis of bacteria and archaea. By using incubation experiments, scientists found out that butane is actually used as an energy source to produce CO2. But this equation does not necessarily have to run from left to right. Some part of this process could be changed in the future in order to use CO2 to produce butane. That can then serve as a fuel. Remember the lighter? Now that we uncovered the mystery of how butane can be used to produce CO2, there might even be organisms that do the exact opposite, using CO2 to produce butane as a fuel. Where are these organisms? Can they be cultivated? And may we have a new technique of producing biofuels?